Come with me, toy fans.
Hey toy fans, we have a huge mystery box from my good buddy George Aitken. Now if you don't know who George Aitken is by now, he's a massive Action Force collector and also a huge supporter of the Analog Toys YouTube channel. He sent me an epic Action Force gift box, I think towards the end of last year. I think it was the end of last year. I don't remember what day it is really. When really? February? Yeah, it must have been the end of last year. Yeah, George is a huge supporter of the channel, and we've since the first gift box, me and George have become good friends, and we probably talk on Facebook, I would say, like 4 or 5 days a week, and we're always talking about what each other's buying. He's actually speaking to me yesterday, and I've gone on a bit of a spending spree on eBay, and I purchased myself an Action Force Z-Force battle tank. So I was talking to George, just yesterday, and he actually thought this was going to arrive towards the end of the week, so it's turned up early. It's Tuesday today here in Australia. So just before I dig into this box, George has been incredibly generous to the channel. He sent me a lot of stuff simply because there aren't many other channels around making Action Force videos, and he likes the videos I make. He knows I'm also very passionate about Action Force, and basically it's kind of a combined effort. You know, he doesn't make YouTube videos, but he collects a lot of Action Force stuff, and by sending me the odd piece that I need, he knows I can get videos completed, videos that he wants to watch. Now, I was talking to George just a couple of days ago and mentioned the grey plastic tow rope for the SAS Wolverine that I just acquired. I actually don't have a Wolverine yet. I'm working on that. But I've recently acquired the grey plastic tow rope for the Wolverine, and George mentioned that he's got a number of Wolverines and none of them have the tow rope. It's a very rare piece. It's kind of a holy grail piece for Action Force collectors. And because George has been so generous to the channel, I mentioned to him that so I've purchased this item off eBay. It's in the should be in the post now. Once I have filmed the SAS part of the Action Force series, I will be sending that rare piece to George to complete one of his Wolverines. It may only be a small gesture, but it is a very rare piece. George has been collecting for many years and has not been able to acquire one of these tow ropes for the Action Force Wolverine. So it would be my absolute pleasure to return the favour and send something back to Scotland rather than him sending stuff from Scotland to me all the time. All right, so I've waffled for long enough. I'm really eager to see what's in this box, so let's crack it open. This box is about double the size of the last one George sent me. There's a few bits rattling around in here. Let's see what we've got. We have a note here from the Australian government. So, George, they didn't trust you, and this is just to say that it's been open for inspection by the Australian government and Department of Agriculture. So there you go. Okay, we've got an envelope here that's addressed to me. I really hope we got a letter from George. I really do. I think we do. I'm just going to check there's nothing else in there before I discard it on the floor. Oh, we've got a handwritten letter. Love it. Hi Tony, it's George from Glasgow again. Love your new Action Force videos. So obviously the last one I did was on Baron Ironblood and the Red Shadows and the enemy team. I have sent some things you will love, but we'll need a bit of a cleanup. That's all right. Maybe we can do another restoration video like we did with the hyena. Looking forward to the next Action Force team video. Keep up the good work, George. Thank you very much, George, man. I literally I took a photo of the box on my kitchen table and messaged it to George on Facebook about 25 minutes ago or something like that to let him know that it had arrived early. He doesn't know I'm filming a video yet. He's probably not even sure if I'm filming a video, but oh, George. I don't want to make anybody jealous here. Certainly not Michael from Retro Blasting. Damn. It's the Z-Force APC. Wow. So this is a UK recolor of the G.I. Joe APC. Not just a recolor, they actually kind of updated and modified this a little bit. They put, they changed the turret, they put a missile rack system on there. So this one looks like it needs to be fixed up a little bit. There's no wheels on this, but it looks like there's some bits inside. Let's take the canopy off. All right, so I can already see on the top of the canopy there, someone's painted a big splodge. It looks like they tried to add to the camouflage. So it looks like we're going to be doing a restoration of this toy. I'm going to try and get that paint removed. We'll get this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Someone's had a great fun afternoon with the paint set and has really tarnished this, this classic Action Force piece. But we're going to get that cleaned up. We're going to do a restoration video of the APC, and oh, no way. It's the Z-Force Minesweeper. I don't know how well you can see it, guys, but I'll take a close-up photo. And this guy is complete. So this guy comes with a mine detector. Just get it into his hands. He's got the mine detector there. And then in the back of the backpack, you can actually flip up the strap, and there's actually a couple of plastic mines in there. And this is quite a rare figure. This came out in the last year of Action Force. Anything that was only released in the last year is quite rare. Damn, that's cool. As I said, I will take close-up photos at the end. He's gonna fall over. What else have we got here? Okay, so for those of you who haven't ever seen inside the Action Force APC before, whoops, just dropped the front canopy there. For any of you who haven't seen inside this before, it is quite different to the G.I. Joe APC. As you can see, there's a med bay here. George has sent the stretcher. It's one arm is broken off, but we'll get that repaired. So there's actually a stretcher that that clips in place and sits there in the med bay. Oh, this is awesome. This is so cool. So we have part of the missile rack. I don't think the connector's there. I'm not sure. We have part of the missile rack and one of the missiles. So there's there's 4 missiles that go here. Again, I'll take another close-up. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to replace the other 3 missiles. These are the rarest parts of the APC. Well, not just the missiles. There's a small antenna and things like that. I think the antenna you can buy a reproduction. And here we've got the turret piece. So let's try and put this together a little bit. I want to be very careful here and not break any of the clips. So I think, yeah, the front driver's canopy goes on first. And it's actually got what is a microwave? A clicking sound, a little bit like an R2-D2 head, dome head. How awesome is that? It's got the a pull-out handle at the back, so you can actually turn it into an action figure carrying case. And when you were a kid, you'd pile all your Action Force, Z-Force guys in there, and you'd carry it around to young Timmy's house at the end of the street, you know? That's amazing. This, I've never had the opportunity to study this properly, and sincerely, no offense to Bob Breakin, this is, now that I've got one in my hands, maybe getting close to being my favourite Action Force vehicle over the Robo Skull. That's still got to be the Robo Skull, hasn't it? The Robo Skull is awesome. Oh, the turret moves up and down. The hatch open. I can't wait to properly review this toy in the Z-Force episode of my Action Force series. Man. Oh. George! George! That's when I scream George like that, some people might think I'm shouting at George the cat. We've got the medic. So this is the other Z-Force figure that came out in the last year, in 1984, along with the Minesweeper. These are two of the rarer figures, apart from the two figures that came with the Z-Force headquarters. Oh, no, this isn't complete, George. It is, and this is complete. George, if you ever need anything for your collection, if you ever want any of this stuff back, just let me know. Like, I'll film them for the video, and I'd more than happily just send it back to you. You're just far too generous, man. I'm overwhelmed. You've sent me too much stuff over the years. So I'm not going to open it now. There's an openable medic, like briefcase type thing. But look at that. Again, I'll take close up photos of this stuff. Oop, I knew they were going to fall over. Let's prop them up there. But there's more in here. We've got another Z-Force Commando figure. Sorry, the Z-Force Sapper, not the Commando. Looks like the original Commando, but it was called the Z-Force Sapper. The SAS Squad Leader. And this one is mint, man. George knows I've already got a couple of these, but he knows I also love them, and I think he's trying to help me army build. This one's got the grappling hook and the rope. Oh. George. It's the Ground Assault. The Ground Assault was copied off of an Action Man uniform. I discussed this at length. Well, I discussed this in my Action Man documentary, but also in the recent video about the designs of Greg Hughes. I've got this figure loose, not in very good condition, but with no accessories. And this one's complete. It's got the SA-80 assault rifle. It's got the backpack. It's got the ladder that comes in the backpack. This is a classic Action Man toy, and this is one from the first series from 1982. Awesome. Awesome. So we got the M60 machine gun there for the Z-Force Sapper. We've got his ammo case. George never sends me anything incomplete. We've got the machine gun here for the SAS Squad Leader. And now we've got two more figures in here that I've never owned before. The Series 1 Commando. Sorry, I'll show you as soon as I get his Sten gun into his hands. The Series 1 Action Force Commando. So basically the Z-Force Sapper is a direct copy of this figure, which is why I always call this the Z-Force Commando, but it's not, it's the Z-Force Sapper. A direct copy, just basically molded and painted in different colors. But that's another first series figure. So maybe if we keep going down this path, maybe after we finish the 5-part series of all the Action Force teams, maybe I should do a deep dive review, maybe a Toy Histories even, on Series 1. I was always kind of reluctant to do Series 1 because it's the hardest part of the line to get. Well, actually, no. I suppose some of the later stuff is the hardest to get. But I'm starting to get some of it now. This is, I want to say Night Force. I think it's Night Force. So this is again another version of the basically the Action Force sort of helicopter pilot figure. This was reused so many times. Again, I'll take a close up because they used this figure design for the SAS parachute attack. They used it for the SAS mission pilot, I think they called it. Then you had a couple of variations of the mission pilot, the helicopter pilot. I don't remember all the names, but I've got quite a few of them now. So I'll take a close up showing you some of the variations. Certainly, I think this is now the 3rd variation of that figure I've got just from Series 1 alone. Oh, I nearly threw that bag away. Oh, and I'm glad I didn't. This is the small grey machete that's missing from my Action Force SAS parachute attack set. Damn. That's the bit I need, George. You know that's the bit I need. Man, you're too good to me. What the... Oh! Here's another missile from the top. Guys, we may be on our way to completing this Z-Force troop carrier here. Because I know I mentioned it didn't have wheels, but look at this. I think George may have removed them for shipping, but there's 2 axles. How many does it have? 3. We got all the wheels and axles here. All of them. So there are all the wheels. Yeah, so we're definitely going to do a restoration video on this Z-Force armoured troop carrier. Does anybody know what that is? I know what that is. We got 2. I need to make some room here. I've got to move some of these guys. Not a bad way. Not a bad way to spend a Tuesday afternoon after work, George, I've got to say. All right, there's something else in here. Oh, there's a couple of things in here. First of all, a carded Mouton. Damn. Unpunched card as well. That is cool. I've only got a couple of carded Action Force figures. They're the 2 SAS figures. I think I posted a photo of them yesterday on Facebook with the SAS prototype that Bob sent me. Now I've got a carded Mouton. Oh, thank you, George. Really, thank you. Okay. Holy. If you don't know what this is, guys, you've been missing out your entire life. This is the Action Force Q-Force C-Line. I really hope I'm putting these pods on the right way. Is this the right way? Damn. Okay, so I've removed the canopy. We've got parts in here. I don't even know where all these parts go. I need to figure this out. I don't want to lose anything. Whoops. I just lost the pilot. All these parts here. Man, this is a cool toy. I know what this is, but this is a toy that I never had. There's like rope winches and, sorry guys, there's like rope winches and all sorts of stuff underneath here. I really need to start doing some research and figure out how this all works. This toy looks like it's got, oh, look at that. It's got like a grabbing claw feature. Dude. A little bit of trivia for you Star Wars fans. If you see that piece in the middle there, that molding, so PALITOY, who made the Action Force line, does this, I think this might even open up. It does open up. It opens up into an engine bay. But this little piece here, so PALITOY had the UK license to release Canada Star Wars toys, and that piece, the molding is taken from the top of the AT-ST vehicle. It's the exact same hatch, which they just took the tooling and incorporated into this figure, into this vehicle, I should say. I've got to get the pilot up there. So the pilot, it looks like a Q-Force Frogman, but is actually, it's recolored. And actually that torso, it's like the head, arms and legs of the Frogman with, I think, with the torso of the SAS squad leader. So he looks like he's wearing a kind of vest type jacket. Again, I need to stop saying it. You'll see close-ups in the video. I don't need to keep telling you I'm going to take close-ups because they'll be on the screen as we speak. We've got the pilot for this vehicle. So I need to really study this. This is such a beautiful toy, man. This is such an awesome toy. It's a toy that's fascinated me for years because it's been so elusive. Oh, wow. So we've got some missiles. I need to figure out where they go. An antenna. I need to figure out where that goes. Like a computer console piece. So these are oxygen masks and hoses. I believe these go onto the side pods, which come off to be like small skimmer vehicles. There is a few parts missing off this, I think, but I'll see what I can do about. Well, I don't know about what my chances are going to be like at finding the missing pieces, but we're gonna do our best. If we can't find the missing pieces, maybe we can fabricate custom pieces. But that's so cool. I can see in the bottom of the box here. Two more missiles. We now have a complete missile rack. So I believe that all that is missing from this Z-Force armored troop carrier is the connection piece that holds the missiles onto the turret. And and should be a small antenna. I know someone on eBay sells, sorry, I'm pointing at a vehicle you can't even see, sorry. So there's a connection piece that goes from the missile rack into the top here. I will try and fabricate something. I actually think that we're going to find a Lego piece that's going to be suitable for this. And there should be a small antenna in the top hatch that is missing off most of them. There is an eBay seller that sells reproduction antennas. So I'll be purchasing a repro for that. Figuring out how to connect this to the turret. And yeah, we'll make it into a restoration video. And we need to get this restored before I do the Z-Force episode of the Action Force series. And I thought that was it. And there's one more thing. George, man. George. Cool. All right. This is the SAS silent attack. I have a lot of, I don't know, is fondness the right word? I'm very fond of this piece because it's a piece I had when I was a child, got lost early on in my childhood. But I actually made an Action Man 1/6 scale custom of this particular piece from the Action Man SAS series. This, I believe, was designed by the same designer who designed the Sea Lion. So Brian Turner, who for many years was the PALITOY display manager, he went on to, he left the display department of PALITOY, became a toy designer. He designed the Action Force police motorcycle, and then went on to Action Force, and he designed the incredible Sea Lion, and I believe he designed the SAS silent attack. So there's a few more parts. I've just dropped the bag here. So we have here, was his name Beaver, George? I think the guy in the SAS canoe was called Beaver. But he has like a yellow life vest. And he goes into the canoe here. It has a paddle. And also a grease gun. That's so cool. Wow. George. Oh. No way. I was talking about the incredibly rare antenna. Look how small that is. Well, that's why it's so rare. They kept losing them. The small antennas here. George, I hope you sent me a reproduction one and not an original, because this is a very valuable piece. And let me know. I have a feeling this is reproduction. I think it is. If this is original, George, I want to send this back to you and buy a reproduction for my one that I'm going to restore, because there's going to be other restored parts on here. But if this is a restoration, I'm okay with it. If it's a reproduction piece. But this sits in the top of the turret just there. Look at that. No wonder that got lost so easy. Look, how easy that a piece like that could just break off or fall off and be lost. Yeah. Man. All right. George does it to me every time. I'm bloody lost for words now. We got some more videos to do for you, George. We're going to do an Action Force Z-Force armoured troop carrier restoration video, and then the rest of these parts are going to go in. They're much needed parts. They're going to help me complete some of the other Action Force videos. And just an update on that, I recently purchased all 3 vehicles for the Space Force. So the Triad Fighter I actually purchased off a Facebook page. A friend of mine alerted me to it. It wasn't a page I was on. And when I spoke to the guy, he gave me an excellent deal for the Triad Fighter. Then off eBay, I purchased the Cosmic Cruiser and whatever the other smaller vehicle's called. The name escapes me at the moment. A number of other pieces I've purchased. As I said, I've got the Z-Force battle tank I purchased recently on eBay. None of this stuff's actually arrived yet. A few figures that I needed, a few other bits and pieces. Oh, I also got the Swordfish, which between the Sea Lion and the Swordfish now completes the Action Force Q-Force. So pretty much with what I've got here and in the collection and what's in the post, I've now got enough to do the Q-Force and the Space Force video. Still need to acquire a Wolverine for the SAS video, and then more than likely the Z-Force video will be part 5. It will come last because the headquarters is going to be very hard to acquire. I don't believe I'm even going to acquire one. I believe I'm possibly going to loan one from a fellow Action Force collector. But George, thank you ever so much, man. I really appreciate this. Anything I can ever do for you, anything you ever need, if you let me know if you collect anything other than an Action Force, man. I want to send you some stuff. But as promised, once I get the SAS video complete, I'll be sending you the tow rope for the Wolverine to complete one of yours. I can't send you a lot of other Action Force stuff because you've got it all, you know what I mean? If anything I send you, you've already got. So it would be really cool for me to send you that tow rope from the Wolverine to complete yours. So, all right, thank you all for watching. Another awesome, epic unboxing. This is an epic unboxing. I've got to go. I've got to go play with toys. I've got to go study this Sea Lion and put the wheels back on the Z-Force troop carrier and just do my thing, man. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And thank you very much, George. You're a good brother. Cheers.